this is just me speaking. I'm an IFO, all right? I'm not emotional the way you are, Teak, the way Sean and Loogie is. The New York Giants won a football game yesterday because their defense showed us a lot of what they're capable.
100%.
They forced multiple turnovers. They made the big stop when they needed to. Big time, especially that Brian Burns sack on 3rd and 9, as we're all just assuming, Justin Herbert's going to march down the field, and Dicker, the big kicker, is going to tie the game,
right.
Or maybe they'll just win the game. The Giant defense came up big, and you won an awesome football game against a good team. That's my headline, but I think for many others, It's the Jaxson Darty party.
Well, you can't not mention Jaxson Dart because of how different it felt. And actually, more importantly, how different it looked. I joked with you guys midway through this game when I wrote our text chat. I was calling this game with Jerry Recco, and it was fun to call it. It just felt like the energy was real in the stadium. But I joked with you guys, and I said, Mike Kafka is going to be a head coach next year because Jaxson Dart is his quarterback right now.
By the way, my return fire to Tiki was very inappropriate, but I also thought funny. He said Mike Kafka is going to be a head coach next year, and I said, yeah, he's going to be coaching the Giants.
But I say that because look how different the play calling was. If you watch this game, it was so many different variations of things that they do, inside zone, zone reads, all that stuff, but it felt so dynamic and so winnable. And then you have a dog at quarterback who, it ultimately didn't matter on this one play, but you remember the 3rd and 1, or maybe it was even 4th and 1, I can't remember what it was. He ran into the line of scrimmage, got stopped, got pushed back, ran out, went around the left edge, put his shoulder down, and jumped into the, jump for the first down. They were offsides anyways, the Chargers, so it would have been a first down.
But that was awesome.
But just watching that play was like, dude, this kid will not take no for an answer. And it reminds me of the conversation we had last week about Cameron Scatterbo, who uses his physicality to inspire his teammates. And so what's happened, to take what you first said to start this segment, is the defense is playing with a ridiculous lights-out energy. And all three of those guys are getting after the quarterback. They didn't show up in the sack totals, but the QB hit totals and the pressure totals were off the chart this year in this game. But then on the offense, they're playing with the same energy because of Cam Scatterbo and Jaxson Dart.
In fact, that opinion you just offered was said very interestingly by Jermaine Illuminor after the game. It's very quick, but take a listen to what he said about the energy and the passion of Jaxson Dart.
Confidence he carries himself with and just the swagger he has is contagious.
The swagger he has is contagious.
Yeah.
That jumped out at me when I was listening to the post game and what everyone was saying. Because that's interesting.
He reminds me as a more physically talented Baker Mayfield.
How about that?
So think about Baker, how he plays.
Yes.
He has an attitude, like he wants to talk trash to you. Like he wants to lift his teammates by being the aggressor all the time. And that's how Jaxson plays. Now, it worries me slightly because he took a lot of hits.
And also had to go very quickly into the medical tent because of those hits he's taking.
I see it differently. So what happened on that play, it was a scramble. He went 70 yards. He got called back because of a John Michael Schmitz hold in the backfield, but he ran 70 yards.
And he was also stiff-arming at the end,
And he was trying to stiff-arm. Dude, keep your hands out of people's faces, right? Especially your throwing hand.
Yes.
But that's another story. But it was an exhausting run. He started all the way to the right, came all the way back across the field to the left. He finished down at the left, 10-yard line, left sideline's 10-yard line. I think he was just gassed. I think he was out of breath because he laid there just kind of like.
So the way he acted was why the league buzzed down?
And he walked back. Not like subtle jog. He took a slow, by himself, steady walk all the way back. And I think he was just trying to catch his breath.
Right.
But because he was, I don't know, he didn't look right, they buzzed down and made him go and take the concussion test.
He had a very good to solid debut, would be the way I'd phrase it.
Dude,
he had a really solid debut.
It wasn't exceptional.
Exactly. That's why I'm not saying amazing or great. It was very solid.
He completed 65% of his passes, which is good. He made the right decisions, never put the ball in harm's way. He threw for 111 yards, one shovel touchdown. It wasn't even like a pretty touchdown, but he ran for 60 yards.
And he also did, like you said, he didn't make any turnover mistakes.
No, he didn't.
He made mistakes because and I'm going to ask you this later because I'm so curious how many of the sacks is on him.
Right.
But in terms of turning the ball over, which is always the bugaboo of like a young quarterback, he didn't do it one time.
No, he didn't. He didn't make the throw that he could have for a 50-50 ball to, I don't know, Wandell or whoever heck was running a big over route. Like he didn't take those throws. And so to answer your question before you ask it, he ended up taking the sacks.
Right.
And so he'll learn the completion. Who cares about the completion percentage? You don't need to lose 8 yards to protect your completion percentage. And I don't think that's what he was doing. I just think he wanted them. A big shot was called, and he didn't want to throw it, but he didn't know what else to do with the ball.
Right.
Type of thing.
No, I get you.
By the way, that comes with experience, and he'll get that. But for a debut, first of all, the energy, which I talked about, the swagger that Jermaine Illuminor talked about, it was there. But the most important thing to me was the play calling is so different. And it just makes me sit here and say, you know what? You can say whatever you want about Dabes. He was right. Not necessarily about Russ and starting.
Oh, about Jaxson being ready?
No, just about having a quarterback who's a difference maker.
Yeah, no. You could see it.
That is what Dabes has wanted. And I think the issue, if I want to just do a quick reset of history, back in 2022, the Giants, they had an okay roster. Pretty good quarterback, really good running back. O-line is what it is. We knew that it was going to be their strength. They had an okay roster. And they felt like, you know what, let's just see what we do. See what happens. Let's try to win some games. Well, they won games.
Yeah.
And they got into the playoffs. But the problem was it wasn't the team that Dabes wanted. And so it was this fool's gold. You're playing with iron pyrite here, trying to make it into something real. When the next season comes around and the season after that comes around, it's like, we're actually not that good.
Right.
We don't actually have that much talent. And so by winning right away instead of stripping it down right away, like being bad and being able to strip it down and bring the guys you want in year 2 and year 3, they kind of just puddled along with nonsense.
No, you're right. The success of 22 turned out to be the worst possible
100%.
thing.
Because I think back to when Tom Coughlin took over after Jim Fossil in 2004. I mean, we had some good players, little vets that were going to be there for a while, Amani, Strahan, etc. But we didn't have a good team.
Right.
And so we basically stripped it down. We stunk because we started Eli. He got that experience. But we used that first year of Tom Coughlin to build something better for year 2 and 3 and 4 and on. And they ended up winning the championship. Dabes and Shane did it. We can win now. Let's just win. The urgency to win kind of undercut the ability to put the team together that they want. And so now I look at this team with Jaxson Dart, with Andrew Thomas, who was unbelievable again in pass blocking, with Cam Scatterbo, who is a football dog, right? That dude limped off the field yesterday. Like, whew, man, welcome to the NFL and 25 carries. Right? We don't do this anymore. You got a defense that has pass rushers that will get after your ass on every single play.
We saw the best of it yesterday.
Dude, it was unbelievable. And you got Shane Bowen finally playing some zone. Just give up that bench route. Give up that 8-yard out. Who cares? Make the tackle, right? And that's exactly what they did. They made it hard and challenging for one of the best offenses in the NFL to go make big plays after the catch. We'll concede, 6-7 yards. Go make big plays after the catch. But by the way, we're going to get in your quarterback's face every single snap.
And we're going to force 2 turnovers and turn it into points.
Right.
Which was really the difference.
And this is the team that I think they've always wanted. It took them too long to get it.
Yeah, there's 2 negatives I take coming out of Sunday. Number 1 is the obvious, and let's just address it because we haven't yet, and that's what happened to Malik Nabers, who is done for the season.
That sucks.
It sucks for Malik. I mean, it sucks for him, number 1, and obviously as fans, it sucks even more. And I'll tell you the other thing that kind of sucks is with Malik Nabers on the field, Jaxson Dart threw for 60 of his 110 yards, and that was in a quarter and a half.
Yep.
With Nabers off of the field, and I'll tell you a great example of where you lose Malik Nabers, and it really, really sucks, when you throw a touchdown pass, and it can't be held on to by Wandell Robinson.
Right. That ball was in his hand.
Dude, that's a catch.
Yeah.
That's a drop. That needs to be caught. That was a play by Jaxson Dart. And so what I'm afraid of, not just next week, the week after, is are we going to really see the best of Jaxson Dart when you take away one of the better wide receivers in the sport. And here's the other thing, and this isn't hyperbolic to say, I think you guys would mostly agree with me. That wide receiving room without Malik Nabers is bottom 5 in the league. It may be the worst in the league.
Well, there's no threat.
Nothing.
There's no. Oh man, what are we doing with this guy? There's no. Oh, if we play man coverage, we got to make sure that safety is on top of this guy. There's none of that.
It's why. And correct me if I'm wrong, obviously. I am not a Giant fan. I'm an IFO. Yesterday, if I'm a Giant fan, would have been such a mixed bag kind of day. I would have been so pumped about the win, number 1.
100%.
I'd have been pumped about the signs I saw from Jaxson Dart. But you're losing Malik Nabers for the entire season to a torn ACL?
Right.
It's almost like you look at the football gods and say, are you serious, bro? Are you really serious about this?
Yeah. I mean, I look at it because the NFL is and will always be a next man up business. One man's injury creates another man's opportunity. And we have been waiting for 3 years now for Jalen Hyatt to be anything. Like, I don't even have an opinion on him because I don't know what to judge him off of. Bo Collins, undrafted rookie from Notre Dame. We saw one humongous play in the preseason. I have no idea what to expect from him. But those guys are going to get opportunities. And so when you get an opportunity, what do you do with it? You just squander it away and let them replace you with somebody else? Or do you take it and run with it? So those guys got to step up. And I know it's easy to say that, and I hate when you say, hey, you got to step up and do something because I can't control that. Only they can control that.
Right.
So,
but it's true.
It's true.
But it's just absolutely true.
It's their opportunity. There is nobody on the waiver wire. There's no free agent sitting out there.
Be a little Jordan Humphrey off the practice squad.
I mean, maybe, probably.
He had some rapport with Dart in the preseason.
Almost definitely. That's
you guys interested now in Lazard?
No.
Would you want to?
No. Not at all.
No.
As much as I love Odell, not him either.
Oh, well.
So
I think he wrote the script on that yesterday when he ripped the
turf.
Kill Life Field. What did he call it?
Death Life Stadium.
Death Life Stadium?
It's pretty funny. Not wrong about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later on. But you're right. Like, there's no one walking through that door.
No.
And that's just, it's unfortunate for, obviously, Leak, but it's unfortunate for Giant fans. And it's unfortunate in evaluating Jaxson Dart.
Yep.
The other thing about Dart, you kind of touched on this, so I am not saying anything that you wouldn't disagree with. He makes me a little nervous. He plays the game with a reckless abandon, which you have to love.
Right.
It's a toughness. It's a doggedness to it. But is that sustainable?
Right.
And I just don't know if that is.
It's exactly like Baker Mayfield used to play.
No, you're right.
He was just wild.
But can you stay on the field for every snap?
And that's the challenge.
So
here's what's happening right now with Jaxson Dart. So game was yesterday. Was a little less than 24 hours. A little more than 20 started, but it finished a little less than 24 hours ago. He is probably sore than he's ever been because he's got a little bit of a hamstring. He took some shots. Some he delivered, and it's not playing against, I don't know, Vanderbilt, even though Vanderbilt's good this year. I'm not even whoever, playing against Georgia. And 60% or 80% of those players are not NFL players. These are beasts.
They're big men.
Huge, like intended defenders. And he took a lot of heat. And so he's sore today. There's no doubt about it. But you won. So it's good sore.
Oh, absolutely.
So as long as you are, it's hurting. Are you hurt? Are you injured? It's hurting and you're not injured. You're good to go.
How long can that last, though? That's my worry. Not how he comes out of Sunday, but how he's going to come out of next Sunday.
I don't know. I mean, he's a stout kid, so he's put together. We met him. You saw him. He's a put together kid. But part of his game, what makes him so exciting, is he can run.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
And you have to do it.
There was so many positive things about Jaxson Dart, and I don't want to be right with what I'm about to say, and I'm not being negative or being a jerk. I'm being honest. I don't think he gets through the full season. That would be my... And look, we kind of saw a preview of it when they pulled him out, even though it was because of the way he got up. Like
That wasn't the Giants, though.
No, I know it's the league,
NFL,
but it's the league.
Right.
I just have a tough time seeing him get through the final, what are we up to, 13 games of the season? That's the way I look at it.
Okay. I mean, most quarterbacks don't. Most quarterbacks do miss a game or two. He's going to have to learn.
Oh, especially in this era. You're 1,000%
Lamar
right.
Jackson is hurt now.
Yeah. You're right. Look, I think in 2025, a quarterback getting through a full season is just less likely or less likely than it was 15 years ago. How excited are you?
I'm over the moon. I'm excited. Look, but I'm not going to overreact. You're right. There were a lot of rookie mistakes in there. But there was a moment yesterday in the shadow of their own end zone when he rolled out and used his hand to wave Darius Slayton to come back to football. I mean, that was it for me. I looked around at the people with me and I said, we're allowed to do that? The quarterback on the Giants is allowed to make that kind of play?
Right.
And
to
then,
be aware enough to make that kind of play.
And then the idea, and they talked about it in the postgame, the improvising with Theo Johnson on that third down, just sit.
Right.
Oh, wait, we're allowed to throw the ball on third down to try to kill time at the end of the game? Those two moments were just, I mean, that told me everything I needed to know about Jaxson Dart.
Right, of course. I mean, they were playing zone. And again, by the way that they play called this game, it forced the Chiefs' defense to be predictable. And it's something that Jesse Minter hasn't been so far this year in the 3 division wins that he had to start the season. They were predictable. They were just crushing them on the run game. And so they had to bring the weak side safety, who was Derwin James. They had to bring him. They had to just keep bringing him. And when you do that, you're going to get burned, so you got to play zone behind them. So it became so predictable, you knew how to call the play that was going to get you the first down.
So I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. You are now in love with Jaxson Dart.
I'm tepidly in love, but I'm prepared to have my heart broke, so I just want to see how this plays out.
Okay.
I don't like Jaxson Dart.
I'm sorry, what was that, Sean?
I don't like Jaxson Dart. By the way, you go to the archive, you can find a lot of quarterbacks in the draft I didn't like, I was wrong about. I don't like Jaxson Dart. Didn't like Josh Allen either.
Well, you wanted Cam Ward, and he is struggling.
Yeah, he's off to a rough start.
Jaxson won before Cam Ward.
I know.
Bottom line is this. We know the next decade of football in New York set now, and we're good to go.
There you go. There's no jumping to a million miles after that.